Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the monthly series of the Meno Lounge. Today, as part of our monthly series, we are chatting with our clinical nutritionist, Barb Sobel. And each month, we're going to talk about a different topic related specifically to nutrition and weight loss, because that is one of the top three things that drives women nuts in menopause. And really, it's why the whole reason I started MenoWell is to manage my own struggles with Meno middle. So I'm going to bring up Barb, and we're intermittent fasting. Interesting, because we've been all about it, and then we heard some things like, isn't then maybe not the best thing for us. So we're going to talk all about it. Hey, Barb, how
Hi,
are you?
how you
Hey,
doing?
I'm
I'm good.
looking forward to seeing you in real life
I
tonight.
know.
We
We
don't
don't get
live
to do
that
that
far
very
from each
often.
other, but it doesn't happen as often as it should. We're on the Mary Claire Haver book party love train. That's what I'll say I'm on. Two events in a week, and I'm glad you're joining me tonight.
I
It's
know,
going
I'm
to be fun.
excited. Yeah.
We're talking about intermittent fasting today, but before I jump into that, you and I, we've talked here, we've got here our blueberry lemon. And yesterday I posted this little power bowl that I make that's got 30 grams of protein in it with Greek yogurt. And then, Barb, I don't think we talked about this, but oikos, I want to know what your thoughts are on oikos.
The yogurt? Oh,
Yeah, it's the vanilla, and it's got really great macros. And I put a little, like a half a container of the individual on top of the Greek, and then it's a little bit sweeter, and it tastes
yeah.
like cheesecake. And then a blueberry bar and some fresh blueberries. OMG, 30 grams of protein, fiber, fiber, fiber. We're cooking with gas on that. So um, I
So
thought you'd
did
be
you have
proud of me for that.
that for breakfast or lunch? When did you have that? Or
Well,
snack?
perfect segue.
Yeah.
It was not breakfast, not lunch. It was my first meal
Of the
of the
day.
day after intermittent fasting. How's that? And no, we did
Perfect.
not plan that. That was not a setup in any way. We'll turn my volume up here. So let's jump in to intermittent fasting, Barb. So that was about 11:30 when I had that first meal of the day. And I stopped eating a little bit later than normally. I try to finish eating about 7:30. In the summer, it's a little harder
It's
because
everyone's having
it's okay.
a harder time in the
Is it
summer.
not
Yeah.
just me?
No, we're
Because we're up
busier.
later.
Like we want to be outside where it's nice out. I mean, I've been talking to a lot of clients and everyone is complaining their kids are going to bed later.
Right.
It's just summer.
And we're more social, right? So we're
Yeah.
out and about later as well. So I've been stopping eating in between about 8:30 now. So then 12 hours used to be the window. I'm trying to push it a little bit more unless I'm doing a heavy workout, lifting. So, pros, cons, intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. Let's
It's like,
talk about
let's def-
duration of
well, let's
time.
define what intermittent
Okay,
fasting is.
even
First,
better. Go
let's
ahead.
start at the beginning
You do
because
that.
there's so many different ways of doing intermittent fasting. And really what it is it's intermittent. So you're not eating. It's not like you're going on a water fast for a week or anything like that. It's intermittent. So small doses of not eating and small doses of eating during either a day or a week. And when we talk about intermittent fasting, we already do it because we don't eat while we're asleep. And so everyone does it, while they're asleep, but then we can add on to that time period, either by eating earlier in the day and or delaying our breakfast a little bit. And there's a lot of benefits to it, but just like anything, it is not the magic bullet for everyone at every place in their journey, right?
Just like menopause, it's
Just
all
like, yeah,
different for everybody.
yeah,
Everybody's body. Yeah.
everybody, exactly. Yeah,
And I like actually the term of eating window better in some ways, because fasting makes me feel like I'm depriving myself
right,
or something versus, oh, this is the time of day that I eat and this is the time I don't. It's like a sleeping window.
right.
I don't sleep all day long. So,
Yeah, I like that too. I like that eating window. It's also, yeah, it's more positive, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. So thanks for going back to the definition. You know, we think we talk about these things just to death, but it's good to just get all on the same page on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
And also feel free to put questions. You know, the purpose of today's, you know, these monthly series that we're doing is for you guys to ask questions. So we'll keep looking at the chat here, and feel free, and you get to ask a clinical nutritionist anything. So, and she's not going to bill you today.
yeah.
So,
Today, yeah, yeah. I mean, I
so
think the interesting thing about intermittent fasting or a eating window is there's so many different ways you can do it. There's no right way, no wrong way. And I think that flexibility makes it accessible to a lot of people.
yeah, I agree with that. So speaking of flexibility and eating windows, let's talk about what a good or the different kinds of windows. So you
Yeah.
want to
So,
talk about the
yeah.
different windows that are, you know, sort of popular and what your thoughts are on those.
Yeah. So when there's lots of benefits of intermittent fasting and or time restricted eating or eating window. And when we can use them for weight loss, they naturally limit the calories that we're coming in because we're not eating as much. So, and how we use those, eat those calories later in the day is a kind of the second part of this question. But for most people, fasting 12 hours, we can really start to see some benefits. We can see it gives us time to use up what we've eaten during the day in our, for our blood sugar. So we see that stabilize. It's good for our brains. It lets our body really focus on regenerating and healing overnight. So for most of us, not everyone's schedule permits, but most of us, if we can do that 12 hours. So you were talking earlier, if you stop eating dinner at 7 o'clock at night and you close the kitchen, then not eating breakfast till 7 the next morning would be a 12-hour fast and a 12-hour eating window from 7 in the morning till 7 the next night. And that's really a great place for everyone to start as sort of a baseline. And most of us can do that. I mean, sometimes people can't if we don't eat enough food during the day. And then that might be something to look at so that we can get there. I mean, and certainly sometimes our schedules don't allow. If you go out to dinner late and you have to show up for work the next morning and you're on site and you can't eat your work at your desk or wherever in your operating room or wherever you are, then maybe you can't do that. I just saw a question come in and it said
Yeah.
yeah, does it have to be the same window every day? And no, it doesn't. That's what's so great about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
so
you can
you can
tip it in the
shift, yeah.
direction you need to go to.
Right.
Okay.
If you eat dinner like you've been doing, you've been eating dinner a little bit later, so you're pushing your window a little bit later during the day. And I actually think that there's some benefit to keeping our bodies not always on the same schedule, but
Mm,
having that variety. So
mm.
certainly sometimes people will go shift their windows on the weekends, or if they have a meeting or a business dinner or something like that. But we were talking about different windows. So I think 12 hours is sort of the
Okay.
basic thing that people should really like start there. And that's something most of us can do. Then sometimes there's sort of some popular things like fasting for 14 hours, eating for 10
10.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
16 and 8.
16-8 seems to be like the 12-12, then 16
Right,
8. So
right.
that takes a lot more intention, I
It
would
takes a lot
say.
more time, like you get really
Yeah.
hungry in that difference because it's 4 hours. And let's talk about how to on ramp and afterwards. But another sort of thing that's been popular, and for some people it is perfect, and for other people it's much harder, is like a 5 days during the week. You intermittent fast for all day. You have a minimal amount of calories, somewhere between 350 and 500 for the day. And then, I mean, that's for 2 days a week that you 2 days a week you intermittent fast on non-consecutive days, and then 5 days you eat normal.
Right.
So
So it's really looking at your and we're speaking more about weight loss,
right,
more so than autophagy of cleaning cells out. I mean, we're doing that anyway overnight, right? 12, 16
right,
hours. We're, letting our cells turn over and process out all the things that we don't need anymore. And that does take a little bit longer,
it
right?
does.
Of a window of
Yeah,
not adding any energy food to our bodies.
right.
But just for weight loss, we're talking about calorie reduction. And Barb, don't get mad at me, but it's like, as midlife women, we're always looking like, what is the secret? What is the plan? What is the silver
Yeah,
bullet? But if you look at people who don't have access to food, they have lost weight. They are thin. Now, we don't want to starve ourselves, and we don't want to lose muscle. So we don't want to do that, right? We want to
right.
eat, I feel a rant coming on. Okay, so we want to eat that protein,
We need to
but
be strategic about,
strategic, but it's
right,
not, but it is part of a huge part of intermittent fasting or a restricted window is can't get tons of calories in that time frame. So we're going to have a calorie deficit.
right, right. And for some people, limiting calories and just having a smaller meal, like when you leave that meal kind of hungry, that's not
Yeah.
a comfortable feeling. It's sometimes easier to train your body to just get used to eating in a later window. And
Yeah.
that's where intermittent fasting can be really helpful. Because instead of saying, look, I can't have, I get my one piece of toast or my little yogurt or whatever,
Right.
you just don't deal with it. It kind of saves time. You don't have to cook. There's
Right.
a lot of kind of pluses. And then you focus your efforts on those meals that you are eating. And especially as midlife women, it's super important that we're getting our protein and we're getting our veggies and fiber in. And those things can make us feel full.
Right.
So we have to really balance that, so that we get enough in that
In
eating window.
that window. Okay. So then let's just touch on 2 meals a day and OMAD, one
And
meal
one
a
meal a day,
day.
yeah.
That feels like such a dude way to eat to me, but anywho, what do you think?
I mean, I think as midlife women, if we want to get enough nutrition, we have to have at least 2 meals.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Two
don't,
mad is not bad.
right. Or
If if you want to eat a
even
lot,
two
yeah,
in a snack. But I
yeah,
think it's really hard to get 100
big
grams of
grams of protein.
protein and 25 grams of fiber in one meal. And most women can just not eat that much in one
Oh,
meal.
that sounds brutal. I mean, that's a lot. Even if it's plant based, you're going to be eating all night long.
Yeah.
But
And yeah, that one meal is going to be really long. Yeah.
you're going to be there for hours. But even if it's animal protein, think about 100 grams. That is like what, 4 palms of
Chicken or something?
chicken
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
steak or whatever. Think about that's 2. Hold yours up, Barb. And then we're gonna have there's your 100 grams of
Yeah.
meat.
That's
Like
a lot of meat.
that's a
Yeah.
lot at one meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Like
so
go
2
fishing
mad
and yeah.
tolerable.
And I even think too, and a strategic snack, not like a
Yes,
junk food snack. So you have to really dial down and be, um, pay attention and really plan for good nutrition.
yeah.
You know,
You have to prioritize it because we get so focused on weight loss or just all these structures that we forget about nutrients. And especially as midlife women, partly we're so hungry because we are not giving our body all the macro and micro
right,
nutrients that we need.
right. And we
Not
might be getting the calories, but we're not getting the right
right.
nutrients.
That's why when 150 calories, let's say, of a MenoWell bar versus 150 calories of a cookie. No, no,
Right,
no, no,
right,
right? You're not
right,
getting any good stuff. In the cookie, you're getting maybe, the sugar hit that you want, but why not get something that tastes good for you with all those micronutrients and fiber, fiber,
right,
fiber. Let's see.
right.
Chaka Super says, do you suggest supplements? I'm not trying to lose weight, but trying to eat better. Good for you.
You know what I think supplements are really individual on what your body needs at a given time. And so if you can focus on eating real whole foods, that is where you should put your energy. And if you have specific need or something out of balance, then we look at supplements because they are supplements. But even if you can't out supplement a bad diet, so you still have to really go in with the diet first.
I love that. What is that quote? Let thy food be thy medicine.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
forget food was designed, divinely designed to nourish our bodies. And it's just that when we eat things that have been over designed, then that's when we lose out on the goodness. Okay, so we talked about 12-hour intermittent fasting, 16-8, too mad,
Yeah.
mad.
Let's
Okay.
talk about we kind of skipped over how do you go from 12-hour to one of these longer
Okay, good.
windows.
Yeah,
Um,
because
so
that 4 hours that's a big leap,
yeah,
really.
it's a big leap because it's when most of us are active and busy. Now, some people will eat, eat at 4 or 5 o'clock and then fast through the evening and eat breakfast, and that's totally fine. But for most people, because dinner is kind of a social thing, we eat dinner and fast overnight and then push that window in the morning. But that's when we're getting up and we're active and we're using energy. Many of us exercise, we're using our brains at work, we're problem solving. So we get hungry. So there's a couple, yeah. So I think the biggest thing I want to say is don't go to 16-8 from 12-12 overnight. Like it's a process and we need to train our bodies and get used to it. So I like to even start people with a basic 12-12 and then starting on non-consecutive days. So every other day, maybe push it 15-20 minutes and then have your first meal. And if you give yourself a month, you're going to get to a 16-hour window very easily. It's just like, getting to bed earlier. If you do it a little teeny bit every day, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Your body gets used to it. Uh-oh.
Oops, sorry.
I saw you freeze.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Somebody just called me. I forgot. This is a different time for Meno Lounge, so my do not disturb is not automatic on this. So get rid of that. Put on my do not disturb.
How do I take control of this?
You got this, Barb. Take it away. Okay. So I love that approach. Just not even every day, because you know me, I'm like, okay, just drop 4 hours. I'm done. I always have to go to like the extreme aspect of it. But that's so much more sensible. Every other day, a little 20 minutes forward. Hey, Coach Angela. Yes. So I like that a lot to get to that 16-hour window. But this is what I will say. I am hungry, and women I know that I hang out with that lift weights in the morning. One, we need some energy. I used to always lift with nothing, completely fasted. And I just realized that if I have like a half a MenoWell bar or, some peanut butter on a banana, I just need some energy to have a better workout in the morning. And also I'm moving all day. We're moving all day and we're moving less at night. So it seems like it'd be better to eat in the morning and stop eating earlier. What do you think? If you're working out in the morning, sort of like following.
It just depends on your lifestyle. Like in my house, dinner's kind of social. So, and it would be much harder for me to sit there while other people were eating dinner and I was not eating it than it is at breakfast because we're all getting out of the house and our schedules are a little bit different. So I don't have to sit there watching anyone eat.
Got it.
But
and it's hard to watch other people eat. That just seems awkward.
It is, but sometimes, that's why I like the flexibility of looking at your schedule every day. If you're going to lift 3 days in the morning or you're going to go for a long hike or a long bike ride or a run or something and you need to eat, you need to eat first so you can fuel that because that's even more important. But we also sometimes we can shift and I've done this. I often will do a more intense weight workout at the very end of the day before dinner.
Really,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of that, but I'm pooped at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like
I
just the
mean,
mental drain. I don't have any juice.
yeah. Well, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of got into that habit because my husband gets home from work late and I was
Uh,
kind of sitting around and I'm more productive working in the morning.
yeah.
So, yeah, so it depends. And we have to put it into context, and that's where not you don't have to do it every single day to 16 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, it may be that you're at 14 hours on the days that you are doing a big workout or something like that,
I
or
love
you
that, Barb. I think it's
flip
really
it. Yeah,
important. It doesn't have to be a rigid thing that every day I only eat from 11 to 7. It doesn't
right,
have to be that. It can flex with what your daily needs are, when you need the energy, food, when you don't need that extra energy, food, social,
right.
like on the weekends, right? I
Yeah,
like to eat in the morning and then stop eating like a grandma for blue light special. If I can finish dinner at 4:30, I'm so
I
happy. My husband's like,
know. I
"What is
know.
wrong with you?" I'm
It's
like, "I always get the best deals when we go to a restaurant." Oh my God. But I still like to eat early. It makes me feel good to be finished eating early. And if he comes home early or I just hang out with him, but sometimes I start to eat again a little bit but after that. But just the majority of the food, even if I haven't stopped fully eating, the majority, I might have a yogurt with a little something on top of it. At least
Mhm.
try to have that last little extra thing, have protein, not a sweet thing, not ice cream, frozen yogurt, like literally Greek yogurt tastes like frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
So have that whatever thing at the end with, I like it, especially lately, peanut butter chocolate, MenoWell bar crumbled on top or double chocolate
Ooh.
brownie on. I think I've just been eating our bars on yogurt like tons because I don't
On
drive all the time.
repeat. Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I going to put on yogurt today? Which flavor? Because I want that fiber. So, but getting it in early is for me works out. So all of us, big
Well, it gives you
takeaway is
time,
that
your body time to digest before you go to sleep. So
yes,
you're
there's
going to
that.
sleep better, which is better all
Yeah,
around. Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what should we have? Let's see, Reinvention Rebel said, had Greek yogurt with berries last night. Absolutely. Hey, Martha, and a MenoWell bar at night as needed. I
As
know Martha
needed. I love
likes a
that.
MenoWell bar at night. A lot of people need that, something high fat, high fiber, a little carb to sleep well too. So,
Yeah, because a lot of people, if their blood sugar goes too low, they wake up 3, 4 in the morning, can't get back to sleep. You don't feel hungry,
right.
but it's that stress response of your blood sugar going really low. And then that, we already have enough issues sleeping. So don't need that
Let's
on
not
top of it.
pile that on. I
Yeah.
know. Okay, so Barb, what do you recommend that we eat when that first meal, when we're finishing, coming off our restricted window
Yeah. So we're
of eating?
breaking the fast.
Breaking the fast.
So we can have things that don't have calories during the fast. So you want to get lots of water, black coffee, black tea, those things are fine. Um, and then your first meal, you're breaking the fast. It is really important. You want to make sure you're getting protein, fiber, so some complex carbohydrates, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, a little bit of fat in there because you want to really stabilize your blood sugar when you're finally putting that food in there. And you
Yeah.
want to make sure that your calories really count. So
Yeah.
you're going to get a big dose of protein, you're going to get a big dose of fiber, fat as needed, for cooking or dressings or whatever else. And
Yeah. And your body is waking up and it's thinking, oh, okay, what nutrients can I get to support all these functions happening in the background, like breathing and all of our,
right,
digestive and nervous system and everything that's happening. And so whatever we put in our bodies first, it is gobbling it
right.
up, right?
Right.
Do you agree with
So
that?
we're
Okay.
putting in something that's sugary. That's the first thing we're going to see.
Right.
That's not so good. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, think about that, ladies, that, the first thing, even if you don't have a restricted, I mean, you're just waking up, right? That's still a
fast.
fast overnight. No matter what, everybody fasts at night. Hopefully you're not waking up in the middle of the night and going in the refrigerator. You're still fasting for the part you're sleeping, but it's not enough. Don't do that. Okay, so, but whatever you put in your mouth, the first time you start eating, your body is just getting, looking for that next hit of nutrients. And so I'm going to ruin it for you when you next time you go and you get that drink from that place with all the things going on in it. I mean, think about that. If that's the first
dessert
thing you consume, you're having dessert for breakfast. So that's probably not your best friend. If you're having a pastry, definitely not your best friend. So, and don't get tricked by bran muffin or blueberry muffin, right?
Right.
Those are all cupcakes.
Yeah.
Cupcakes.
Yeah.
So, Barb,
I like to do like
you're a tea person. I know you're a tea drinker, right?
I am, but I'm a morning coffee person.
Oh, morning coffee.
By far.
Me too.
Yeah.
Black coffee.
Yeah, me too.
And I put it in this cup because, first of all, it's lavender, so it's cute. But the metal keeps it hot. But it's more fun. Like, I'm not. If you see me with this cup on the Meno Lounge, I'm not drinking. It's not like day drinking. It's just coffee. But black coffee, because it doesn't break a fast. No sugar, none of that stuff, and it's not easy to get to. I know, but
I mean, I think that's an issue for a lot of people. Not having cream or oat milk or whatever. And part of the reason that their coffee tastes so good is because a lot of those have sugar in them. So I would say the first step would be go to a non-sweetened coffee. And if you want to put a nut milk or regular milk in, do that. And then slowly start taking the amount you have down so that it doesn't break your fast. Yeah. And some people are okay if they have a little bit of like whole milk. It just a little bit, it doesn't seem to break their fast. But it's individualized. So I usually recommend just something with no calories.
Is it because of the high fat content?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so help me understand that. When people say, eat this food while you're fasting because it's part of your fasting protocol. I don't understand. Fasting is abstention. So how is eating not break your fast? I don't get it.
Yeah. So when most people are talking about that, they're doing extended fasts. So they've gone so long, having a few olives is just a little bit of fat, which doesn't change your blood sugar. And it doesn't elicit an insulin response. So that's why they say you can have it. But I found it really depends on the individual. Like when I've used a continuous glucose monitor to see how their blood sugar changes.
Yeah. Okay, you brought it up. Do you want to talk about the continuous, what is CGM? CGM, I had to think, seeing in my head. Let's see. Oh, Ollie said, what about stevia during a fast in coffee?
I think we should, we don't want to trick our body that it's getting something sweet or anything like that. I'm just, don't do it. You can use herbs. So if you want to put cinnamon in your coffee when you're, making it, that can be helpful. But the actually putting something sweet in changes our insulin response, and we're trying to get that to calm down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like diet soda.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You got the thumbs up.
Although better than diet soda, but same idea. Yeah.
Right. But cinnamon helps. Vanilla
helps a lot. Yeah.
Vanilla extract. Real vanilla.
Or vanilla powder.
Vanilla powder. Good. Okay. So what
nutmeg would work too.
Oh, nutmeg.
Yeah.
I don't like nutmeg. Well, a lot of people.
It's okay. You don't have to. I do.
Oh yeah. Because it's about me, Barb.
Yeah. I guess there'll be no nutmeg bars.
Right. I love it. If you should follow Barb because at Barbara Sobel _nutrition.
Yeah.
Is that right? She posts a lot of great pictures of food and herbs. You cook with really wonderful herbs. You're so creative with that, making things taste really yummy. So, because that's always a complaint, like healthy food doesn't taste good if you know how to add a little bit of this and a little bit of that, especially like mint in the summer, dill in the summer are so good.
Yeah.
Barb, continuous glucose monitor, is that a way to help us know, how what the impact of fasting is in our eating windows and tracking, monitoring our blood sugar? I have one sitting over here. I still have never attached it to my arm, so I need to do
We should
that.
talk about that. So it is. It's a little patch that it's a sensor. It looks like a little disc that you attach to your arm, and it measures the glucose. It not actually the in your cell, but in the fluid in between your cells, and it gives you real time data, so you can see what happens where your glucose response is after 12 hours, and it holds the data so you can see it all night. You can see it after 12 hours, 13, 14, 15, 16. You can see what your first meal does. You could see if were intermittent fasting and you had coffee. Sometimes that,
Right.
even though it has no calories and doesn't affect it, it sometimes can affect your blood sugar a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
you get all sorts of real-time data, so it can be very helpful in
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And it collects it overnight, so you can see if you're doing intermittent fasting, you're not getting enough food during the day, you might start waking up in the middle of the night because your body is not getting enough food during the day. And you'd see that you were too low. You could
It's
make
so
that
neat. I know you have
sign
a
adjustment.
glucose monitor course too that you offer. What's neat about it, it's like it's a window inside your body.
Right, because we can't see that. And when we
Yeah.
go to the doctor and get our glucose measured, it's only for that 1 second
Right.
right then.
I always say it's the entrepreneur in me. It's like a balance sheet. It's just a
Yeah,
snapshot in time.
yeah,
Not that
exactly.
helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not that
Oh my
helpful.
God.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
good. Okay, so what did we forget to talk about so far? So, any tips for people who are really thinking about intermittent fasting or nervous about it, or a good way to get started?
Yeah, the best way to get started is just pick a day that you're going to start. Think about what your window is, your fasting window and your eating window. Plan ahead what you're going to eat, because not planning ahead is a recipe for disaster, because if you're hungry, you're going to eat something that is just
Like,
first
oops,
thing you think.
I
Yeah,
I planned to just eat this, and you're so tired at the end of the day, decision fatigue kicks in, and your partner says, "How about a pizza?" And you're like,
yeah.
"Okay, right."
Yeah, yeah. So planning,
Sabotage.
and then also go into this journey with an open mind. I mean, let's see how your body responds. If you're under a lot of stress, you're working out really hard and in a build mode or training mode, you might want to go smaller
Yeah.
window.
Or every other day. Here's
Yeah,
Coach Shakira asking, should we do it every day?
I think I think to do a 12, for most of us, a 12-hour fast overnight is reasonable. And then after that, it depends on you, your lifestyle, your goals, your health issues. And the easiest way to get into it is to start by not doing it every day.
There you go. Okay, so here's my last question that I bet somebody wants to know. And can you intermittent fast to weight loss? Can you lose weight by intermittent fasting?
Yes and no. So it's not a magic bullet, but it is limiting your calorie intake. But it really matters what you're eating during your eating window, because you can totally blow it. You could eat thousands and that right of calories. I mean,
Because I
you can't eat
could
cake,
go through a
right? You can eat
pizza.
cake if you're eating cake. Yeah.
That's right.
Um, you still have to fit. You have to be mindful of the nutrients that you're ingesting and the overall calories that you're ingesting, because even though we really focus on the nutrients and the macro, protein and fiber, it still matters if you're not in a calorie deficit. So don't fast so long that you're so hungry that you overeat. It's better to go back it up a little bit and slowly increase it so that your body gets used to it, so you're not overeating.
I love that. I think we can trick ourselves when we improve our eating habits. You're eating better food.
Yeah.
more whole foods, etc. But then we're still eating more than what our body requires for the energy we're putting out in a day, in a particular day or a week or a period of time. And that feels unfair. Like, I'm eating good food. Why can't I shed the Meno middle? And it's usually because we're not moving enough for the amount of energy we're putting in our body. So not enough energy is going out for the amount of energy that's going in, even if it's good for you.
Right. So. I mean, there's a lot of really healthy foods that it's easy to eat too much of.
Yeah. Avocados.
Yeah.
Boop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Nut butter.
That's
why I love the peanut butter bars, because they're 150 calories, right?
Yes.
Not you get the endless spoon in there.
No. I know I used to call those a peanut butter lollipop. Needless to say, that tells you where my frame of mind was, around that. So yeah, peanut butter chocolate MenoWell bar. You're done. You're good. Yeah. You're good. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, Barb. Any closing thoughts you want to leave with everybody about intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I think it's a great tool for insulin, blood sugar sensitivity. It can be really great for focus and for mental clarity. It can be great for inflammation, but it's part of the whole overall picture. And it works differently for everyone, and it really depends on what our goals are and where we're at. So I really think people need to focus on their journey with intermittent fasting and not what everyone else seems to be doing, because everyone's different.
I love that. It's so important, especially when we learn things on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, from fantastic experts. But there tends to be sort of this one way or the highway perspective.
Yeah.
And we're all individuals. So use your thinking mind.
Right.
Listen
and
to your body.
Fasting, it's a journey just like anything else. So it's a great tool as long as it, is working for you. Yeah. And for some people, it's not the right tool for them. But it doesn't mean they still can't find all the benefits in other ways. Sometimes by doing more exercise, we can get some of those other benefits, or what we eat, or, maximizing our sleep and stress. So there's lots of inputs.
Really, really good. I wish there were a simple answer.
I know.
Everyone's always looking for the simple answer.
And you will get the result you want, but we're complex. We're not just a machine,
That's what makes us special, and that's why we need to enjoy the journey. Yeah. We get to learn ourselves, learn our bodies, our minds, how we think about things, what we believe, what we really want, what we really don't want, all those things.
So. Especially going through perimenopause, where our body's changing so much, we might see that we need to change it around a little bit, a couple times. Yeah. And then it might be different in postmenopause.
Because what used to work may not work anymore.
Exactly.
Usually is not working anymore. And just when you think you've got it, and then you're postmenopausal, and then, oh man, you got to rewrite the playbook completely. Yeah. So that's why we have each other. That's why we have this community. That's why we have these conversations. And we have the most amazing Barb Sobel. So we can ask. We don't have to suffer, worry, try to figure it out by ourselves. And Barb, where can people ping you, follow you, all the good things?
I'm on Barbara Sobel _nutrition on Instagram, and Barb Sobel is my website.
And back here every single month now.
Yeah. Which
on
I'm
the Meno
thrilled
Lounge.
About. It's super fun.
It is neat to do a workshop and answer questions. So come back again next month, same time, bring your questions, anything around nutrition and weight loss and menopause. We'll have a special theme, but you can ask anything you want. AMA, ask, we should call it ABA, ask Barb anything.
and if anyone wants to DM me an upcoming topic, or Julie, something that you're interested in, let us know.
I love that. Yeah. You guys tell us.
Yeah.
We'll deliver. Yeah. There you go. All right, everybody. All right. Thank you, Barb. Always.
Thanks. I'll see you later. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Be well. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
MenoWell.
MenoWell.